Hey everyone, welcome back. So the show continues. The Best You Expo, day one, the Best You Expo. This is the recording. Well, if you're watching it live, it's live. But if you're not watching it, then you're watching a recording. And this was the Best You Expo live, the virtual expo for LA. That was the first to the 7th of August. And we're very excited about bringing these virtual events and the opportunities that this brings us about connecting with more people and providing the platform to many people. At the moment, in this particular expo, we've got more than 350 sessions scheduled. And one of the things that I am very excited about is how we can improve that technology, how we can grow with it, and how we can reach more people. And as you know, or if you don't know, we've got several expos already scheduled. And amongst those expos, where we have right now, apart from LA, we've got Dallas in October. Then after Dallas, we have scheduled Dubai. Then after Dubai, we're going to be doing Miami, a Latino Expo, and then we're going to be taking it to London, coming back to London where it originally started. So one of the things that I was sharing the other day is with a friend of mine. I was talking about the idea of what personal and professional growth means. And I'm going to be talking in my talk, which I'll be talking at the end of the week. It's going to be the question and the answers. I kind of understood and understand that within the personal professional growth, there's a lot of people that with love and respect, I really recommend they should read their own books. And what I mean by that is that there's a lot of incongruency. There's a lot of people that talk about, being happy, being confident, being successful, being wealthy, talk about losing weight, talking about all these things. And then on the other hand, it's completely incongruent to who they are and what they represent. And it comes across. So I think, if anything, the beauty of this new paradigm, this new consciousness that we have is that real leaders are starting to step up. And it's very easy to identify those that aren't really congruent. So I think one of the most important things that is needed within the personal professional growth industry is more professionals that are experts, but experts in being honest, experts in being congruent, in making sure that they're aligned with the things that they believe. And I don't believe that personal professional growth is necessarily about wealth. And I'm just talking about wealth. It's talking about wealth of knowledge. I think it's more about how can you really explore the opportunities of growing as an individual in enhancing your skills. And I was sharing before the idea around that we're all obliged to become the best version of ourselves. And we are. We're all obliged to become the best version of ourselves because we're here to leave a legacy. I explore the idea that from the beginning of time, I think it's estimated that we've had around 107, 108 billion people live on the planet, and there's around 7 billion now. And what I share is the idea of how many people of those billions of people that have been around for a long time, how many of them have really made a dent? How many of them have made a real big difference? And I think that personal professional growth has to hold the flag of change. And I mean that we hold that responsibility because I think it's proven that we can't leave it to the politicians. If this coronavirus has proven us anything, is that there's so many incompetent leaders all around the world. And there's so many incompetent leaders all around the world who have literally messed it up and made it even worse for all of us. So I think this is a time for leaders to step forward. I think it's a time for this new paradigm, this new time of consciousness, of appreciating and understanding the really important things. And the really important things, I think, is to do more and not to have more. I saw a great documentary on Netflix the other day, and it talks about, it's based on The Minimalist. It's the book, but there's a documentary, and it's about how society should be moving towards the idea of having less. I think the whole documentary talks about how over the years, what we have done is through advertising agencies who started pushing and plugging these things through television, in the 60s or whatever, is now part of our life. And that's why kids, at the age of 3 or 4 or 2, they start asking for the new toy, or they're asking for the new iPad or the new phone or whatever it is that they want. So we're on this vicious circle of wanting more because we need more, because we have to have more. And what it's bringing is just literally destroying the planet. And that's what I think is very, very sad. It's destroying the planet in many ways. And it's And I think this new time, what it will do or should do, is get us to understand what are those important things and what are the really important things in life, and having a lot of things isn't it. And I think if we start exploring the ideas around that, we don't need that much to be happy, because I think a lot of people really think that, in order to be happy, and that's what publicity, that's what these advertising agencies have done to us, is that we need 16 pairs of jeans, and we need 14 suits, and we need 4 cars, and we need a bigger house, and we need more clothes, and we need more things, more items. And the fact is that we don't. And I think I hope that that's where we're moving. I've transitioned, and again, with my effort in being congruent myself with my own message, I can't be the founder of the Best You not being congruent with the things that I believe in. So for me, I've evolved and I've changed a lot over the years, and I've evolved and changed over the years because I'm on that quest of becoming the best version of myself. And if that entails me really thinking deeper and doing more things and having less things, because, at the end of the day, ultimately, we're all here for a limited period of time. And unfortunately, I lost my mom this year, and I understand. I've known for a long time because my dad died when I was 15. But what I'm saying is that I understand and appreciate mortality, and it's looking at what my mom, like many people, just collect things, and then all of a sudden, these things aren't needed because you can't take them with you, and there we are, trying to get rid of my mum's clothes, and where did it go? So we don't need things. What we need to do is we need to leave a legacy. We need to change the world. We need to make the planet a better place. And that's what the whole idea of the Best You, that's the whole idea of the Best You Expo is. That's the whole idea of these real life stories that a lot of the talented and amazing people that we bring together to you is all about. So with that long spiel, as they call it, I wanted to kind of bring you into a little bit more around the Expo. And I've got a couple of guests joining me shortly, and I'm going to be also introducing my co-host for the week, who is Tony Boldy. But before I do, I wanted to announce a couple of things that we've got planned for you. Now, a very good friend of mine is Jason Vale. Jason Vale is the Juice Master. He's based in the UK, but he's built a phenomenal career. And Jason has a great story. Jason has a great story because he, in particular, was overweight. He had eczema. He used to smoke, and he was depressed, and he had a very tough upbringing. And he changed his life with juicing. And he has, for me, one of the most phenomenal brands on the planet. He's one of the most congruent guys that I know in the industry. He really walks his talk. And Jason in particular, spoke at my Expo a couple of years ago. And one of the things that he says is that the social security, the national health in the UK is the medical system, the hospital system in the UK called NHS. And there's so many people that are getting operations because they're either very obese, or because they're not losing weight, because they have a lot of sugar, and because of their diets, basically because of the diets that they're literally killing themselves, and they're putting so much pressure on the NHS. Because that, smoking, well, that has effects, not exercising has effects, eating the bad things has effects. And it's obviously a burden on the national health system in the UK. And he was saying is, don't ask what you want the NHS to do for you. What is it you can do for the NHS? When these national health systems are spending billions of dollars in helping people, you really have to think, what is it you could do in order to not be a burden, but to support them. And that starts with you taking care of yourself. So I wanted to share with you that we're going to be showing a documentary, and the documentary is on Monday, I believe, and it's called The Super Juice Me, and it's a documentary that he did a couple of years ago. The documentary is actually tomorrow night, and what I wanted to do is show you a very quick clip so you get an idea of this amazing film that you can watch at the Best You Expo tomorrow evening. It's going to be at 6 p.m. and it's just a great documentary, and it's so inspiring and so much to learn. So let's have a quick watch at this clip so you get an idea what the documentary is about.
I deal with chronic pain on a daily basis. I have numerous problems. One, I have ulcerative colitis.
Crohn's disease. just throughout my digestive system. It's a very, very difficult thing to live with.
My problems are weight, as you can see.
There's no question in my mind that we're not winning the war on chronic disease.
All of this stuff is clearly not natural and shouldn't be happening to a 26-year-old.
They're drugging them and drugging them and drugging them, and the drugs have side effects.
The properly prescribed use of medicine is the third leading cause of death in this country.
If you haven't looked just here, these are some of the medications I take.
These lifelong medications cause lifelong side effects or adverse events in millions and millions of people.
I need to do this for my health, for my children.
We're at a crisis point, and if something doesn't change, all of these diseases are going to continue to escalate.
I can say honestly, I have not felt well for 25 years. But if I don't start putting myself first, there isn't going to be a me to help others.
Do we really need to be spending trillions of dollars every single year on healthcare medicine? Or is it possible that the answer to the current global chronic healthcare crisis is as simple as what's in this glass?
I don't know what it is to feel good.
If you took the medication out of that equation, I could live a normal life.
I don't want to be on all these drugs. They don't do anything for the disease, they just mask the problem.
I'm kind of scared of a whole month. I'm not someone who usually has that type of drive.
Today is going to be my rebirth.
Yeah, great. It's going to be a great documentary. So I highly recommend that you come and join us and watch it. It's going to be very inspiring. Now, additionally to that, I've got a great surprise for you. Now, thank you to Judy May Murphy. She's connected me with, what I feel is an absolute artist. He's a violinist. He's based in Europe. And I'm going to be interviewing him. He's Yuri Revich. And Yuri is going to be playing for us live at the Best You Expo. I'm so excited. We're bringing so much talent and so many different things to you. So Yuri is going to be playing, as I said, I'm going to be interviewing him live, 10, 15 minutes. And then additionally, now he's going to be doing a live performance for us. And it's going to be during the week. It's all on the schedule, so check it. And additionally to that, we're going to probably be playing some of his music. So I just wanted to give you a quick clip. It's only going to be a minute, but it's beautiful. And it's going to open my next guest that I'm going to bring, my co-host. And then we're going to take it from there. Thank you so much. Wow, so much talent. So honored and so blessed to have him play for us this week. It's going to be absolutely amazing. So I'm Tony. I'm going to bring you and Tony Boldy. I'm going to ask you to come and join me. Tony, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Right before we went live, of course, my computer crashes, so we just roll with the punches. But we're good. I'm back up.
Well, good. Well, good. Because I've been seeing you
literally seconds. But that's how we do this live. The show must go on.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, listen. Luckily, I've got you guys there as well in case something happened. So Tony Baldy has been a great supporter of the Best Year Expo. He was my host in the Best Year Expo in Long Beach. We did a couple of years ago. We had 3,000-4,000 people show up over there. So he's been a great fan. Tony, tell us, because you've done a little bit of everything. You're a DJ, you're a producer, you do a lot of things. So I want to thank you so much for supporting me over these years. You've been a great ambassador of the brand, and you've always said beautiful things about us and what we do.
You're doing a great thing for so many people. And it's nice that you're now on Roku TV, which is wonderful, and you can reach so many more people. And it's just really inspiring to watch you. So I'm honored to be part of this.
Thank you so much, Tony. So look, what's your take in kind of what we're doing, and what are you going to be sharing? Apart from obviously interviewing people and keeping the show moving and going, what are you going to be sharing?
Well, in about 1994, I discovered Landmark. My mother had gone and she became enroller. And so she said I should really try doing the weekend seminar at Landmark. And that was kind of my wake-up call, and Celestine Prophecies and The Secret. And then I went to Agape and Michael Beckwith, and really just went down this path of self-discovery and really surrender. I just hit this week 9 years of sobriety. So I'm really starting to understand what it's like to feel, and not to avoid what a lot of people don't like to feel if it hurts, right? So we numb it. But I'm learning to just live in it, and nothing lasts forever, good nor bad. And just to go through the experience like you're watching a movie, and what can you take from it? And so if I'm teaching a lot now, I teach a lot of young kids acting and self-empowerment and motivational skills. And so from watching you guys, I get more information, I get more energy that I can share with this younger generation. So today it's just absorb.
Brilliant. Well, thank you, Tony. You're a positive guy. You're always positive, and that's what I like about you. That's why especially in a place like LA, which I know everyone is awesome and everyone's amazing. But,
well, they're all locked inside if they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. So you can actually get from place to place now. But this is the strangest time that I've ever experienced. But again, I've seen some of your speakers say that there's a lot of breakthroughs. Jack Canfield was talking about he might be making more money now because he can bring more of the world closer together and share his message on platforms just like this. So I'm enjoying this new, not the COVID, of course, but I'm enjoying this new technology and us experimenting and pushing the limits. And you've really pushed the limits with what you're doing for this virtual expo. And it's only day one.
Yeah, absolutely. And I did say that at the beginning when we started the show, I did kind of like inoculate some people saying, hey, because at the end of the day, technology is technology. And I think all of us, we live with it nowadays, and we know how it works. And how it works is that all of a sudden it doesn't work. And that's it. And all you got to do is just like take it and move on with it. So, for example, we've had some technical issues today with some of the talks that people weren't able to attend or watch. Guess what? We've got them recorded, or they will be recorded. We'll stick them back in there. People will be able to watch that tomorrow. When you go to a live event, guess what? You can't do that. If you miss the speaker, unless you've got a time machine, you can't go back and watch it. So here we can. And at the end of the day, we have to embrace what we have. And I think we have to carry on pushing and making sure that we can get things better. But I was talking to a couple of people. There's so much great technology already being developed, and so many great people, developing some new things. So I think it's only going to be the beginning, and I'm very excited about where it's going.
It was like the origination of television, right? That was live TV originally.
Absolutely. And you look at us. We've got this thing where we're literally running this event throughout 7 days, and it's being shown in Roku. So anyone in the US could be watching this now in their home. They won't be able to watch the whole expo, but they'll be able to watch all the main stage speakers and everything that we're doing here. So I think that's pretty special. Yeah. So Tony, thank you so much. I'm going to just leave you there. I'm going to bring in my next guest, who I want to introduce. Her name is Antonia Harmon. So Antonia is an energetic force to be reckoned with. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I can tell you that. Just wait till you hear her accent. She's a renowned emotional trauma expert and healer, and she's treated thousands of people around the world for a range of debilitating traumas, ranging from chronic depression and anxiety to helping people unleash their own divine empowerment. So, Antonia.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Fabulous. How are you?
Fabulous. You look fabulous, Antonia. I have to say, you look fabulous.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great. So listen, we're very excited to have you at the Expo. You're obviously going to be sharing your expertise on the main stage. And I know we spoke originally when you came on board, and we're very excited for you to kind of share what you're doing. So tell us, what drew you towards the Expo, and what are you going to be talking about either on your talks and in your booth, because you're going to be there as well throughout the week?
I'm looking forward to breaking America from the comfort of my house in Finsbury Park in London. I just thought that was such a cool idea to be able to really make an impact on an American and a global audience, just, whilst being at home, because it's obviously doing a show in America makes it very expensive to actually be traveling to America and taking a team with me. So to be able to do that from home is just a really wonderful thing. So that's why I've decided that LA was the place to go. And also I think people in LA and America at large are very interested in energy healing. They're always looking for the next new thing, and they're very open to different energetic work and forward thinking in many ways. So I thought LA has been where I've been dreaming of getting to, and now you've got me here. So thank you very much for that.
Well, I sorry, I was just going to say that I'm talking about energy, that I technically moved to LA last November, and I just come back to Europe because, well, I had to make the decision. I wanted to come back and see my family. But
Yeah.
There is a very special energy there, I got to say, and I've always felt very at home, and they've made me feel very at home. I mean, I built a phenomenal network in a very short period of time, much bigger in LA than over here. So I can imagine that people will love you and engage kind of with the things that you're going to be doing. So you've got massive expertise. What are you going to be sharing at the Expo?
I think that emotion is energy. And I think it's very clear because when you hang around with someone who's sad or angry or upset, you spend 2 minutes with them and you can feel that they're sad or angry or upset. It's just radiating from them. They're broadcasting that emotion. And then if you look at the word emotion or energy emotion, as I like to call it. So what I've done is I've spent the last 13 years largely in a trance state, awakening my latent abilities. And now I've got some superpowers. And that's what I want to share with the world. So if someone can feel a trauma, if they can think about a situation and allow those emotions to bubble up, open up Pandora's box, as it were. If they can feel it, then I can dissolve it. And this goes so far as different individual emotions, different situations people have had, or grief or sadness. And even I had a situation with my level 2 students recently who managed to clear somebody's 30-year depression in under 10 minutes, which was in class level 2 and blew us all away. Obviously, this guy had been on a lot of medication and I've seen everyone around, and now it's 2 months later and he's not had a whisper of his depression. So I think that there can be some big work in helping a lot of people with what I'm currently doing.
And energy is so important. I mean, I've talked with a lot of experts we've had over the years, and you're quite right. I mean, we all have those people. Well, I don't have a lot of those anymore. I've got rid of them in my life. When you're younger, you put up with them because you've got to be polite. But when you're older, you haven't got much time to live anymore. So you know what? Excuse me, if you're negative, and that's my favorite hashtag no negativity. So there are those people that literally walk into the room and the lights turn off, the air conditioning. Exactly, and you just feel your body like shrinking. So what are your thoughts regarding those negative vampires? What do you do with them?
They need help. Come to see me. We'll help you with that as well. I just think that they are feeding on emotional energy, and that's what happens to a lot of people. They just get stuck. And I don't think they realize. I think a lot of people are psychopaths and don't really realize they're feeding on emotional energy. But if you feel that you're doing that, I don't think they've got the facilities within themselves to be able to generate energy naturally, and so that but not largely because of trauma. So it's important to dissolve those traumas so that they become self-regulating in a way that they previously weren't. So if you're a victim of them, then we can help you deal with the traumas. But it's basically, we clear traumas, and traumas cause all sorts of issues, including, I think, largely disease. I think disease, the focus of disease, I think is very important, as you were just mentioning, having a good diet, exercising, having vitamins and minerals, getting outside and getting sunlight. Those are all very, very basic things. But I don't think we're thinking about how we consume emotions and how we consume trauma and the effect that has on our physical form as much as anything else. So I think it's very, very important to just be okay within ourselves and forgive. And what I do is I teach fast track forgiveness. I dissolve emotional traumas, that stagnation around you. I can clear pretty much instantaneously, which is what I'm here to show you guys.
Brilliant. Well, Antonia, we're very excited to have you. We're very excited and love your energy. So Guys, what I'm going to suggest, obviously, any and all of you that are here at the Best You Expo, remember, this is a week where you come and go, you watch the speakers. Sometimes you might watch them live, you might watch a recording, but definitely go into their booth, have a look at what they have to offer. There's all sorts of products, there's all sorts of courses, workshops, and activities that you can do. And that's what it's all about. Look, don't go and spend some time on Netflix, because guess what? You know, you're not going to learn much from there. Although I did share a great documentary that I learned. But I'm just saying is that, you know, spend your time wisely. And that's what I think. A lot of people spend to, I mean, I'll share some facts with you guys, okay? And these are facts that shocked me. So I don't know if you know, but we spend an average of 25, 26 years sleeping. Now, that's a lot of sleep. Since I found that out, I'm waking up at 5 a.m. every morning. And so I've been doing that for the last couple of years. And guess what? I've actually started to get some of that time back. The other thing is we tend to spend around 7 years watching television. Now, that's a lot of television. Oh, my God. 7 years watching television. Imagine if you did something else, like stay in bed with your other half. You know, so, you know, there's a lot of things that you can do that are going to be helpful, more helpful than that. We spend around 4 years on social media. So spend a week here. Spend 4 days, and you know, embrace yourself with all these amazing speakers. Antonia, thank you so much. Looking forward to your talk, and I'll be
I'm on the MMI stage on Monday at 3 o'clock, and I'm on the main stage at 11 o'clock on Wednesday. Thank you so much.
Repeat that for me, Antonia.
I'm on the MMI stage at 3 p.m. on Monday, and I'm on the main stage at 11 a.m. on Wednesday.
Brilliant, Antonia. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye. Great, guys. So as you can see, we've got quite a few Brits. I've got some great friends of mine that are here, and I'm going to be talking to some of them. We've got my friend Paul Boros, the pitch doctor. I've got Sarah Davison, who started speaking. She's a very good friend. She's a divorce coach, and she's going to be there. She's going to be here as well, speaking. She's been at all of my events as well. But we've got quite a lot of Brits. I've got Louise Dockery. Oh my God, Suzanne Paul. Lots of speakers, and I feel terrible when I start saying some names. I'm not sure I'm going to forget a lot of them. Now, I am going to bring you my next guest, and my next guest is someone that I've met a couple of times. Now, we've seen each other. We know, we knew who we were, but we never actually really got to connect. We had a lot of very good mutual friends. We have a lot of good mutual friends. We didn't have. It's just one of them, unfortunately, was Ryan Long, a good friend of ours who you know, used to run the City Gala, who's changed and helped the lives of so many people. Kudos to you, Ryan. A great loss, another great loss this year. And I met James there at his last event. And apart from that, James is a very good friend of another good friend of mine, Bill Walsh, who's also going to be speaking at the Best You Expo. And Bill has spoken also at all of my events. Bill is a great guy. And Bill connected me with James the other day. And again, I'm a massive believer in serendipity. And I hope you are too, because every single thing happens for a reason. Every connection you make, everything that you read, every person that you come across with is there and is happening for a reason. And sometimes I talk about these opportunities. They're the size of tankers, petrol tankers. They're so big, but people tend to walk around them because they just don't see them. And what I've learned with life and with time is to connect the dots, is to connect, why am I meeting people? Why is this text message coming in now? Why am I connecting with this person now? And I've managed to understand that. And once I've started understanding that, things have started to make a lot more sense to me. And my life has changed since I really started to connect that. And I'll share this story with you. So we had a scheduled speaker today. Again, my friend Aaron Young, who's going to be speaking today. And unfortunately, his father passed away and he was not able to join us today. And literally, I think it was like half an hour before that happened, there was a text message coming from Bill Wall saying, hey, you've got to get James to speak. And I think there was another message that we already exchanged with James. And then I think, well, there you go. There's a reason why James and I are connecting right now. But he's a phenomenal speaker. He's an entrepreneur, best-selling author of the top 5 frequencies of high performance, philanthropist, and one of the nation's top life and business strategists. As one of the world's most renowned motivational speakers, James Finley is dynamic personality and highly sought after resource in business and professional circles for Fortune 500 CEOs, small business owners, non-profit community leaders from all sectors, society looking who are interested in expanding opportunities. Now, I've seen James speak quite a few times. I've actually read his book, and I've got to say it was brilliant. And I think he's a phenomenal speaker. So I'm excited and delighted that he came across our way, and he's speaking with us later on today. And I just wanted to do a personal intro to James. James, thank you so much for being here.
I'm excited. How you doing?
I'm very good, my friend. Very good.
You know, it dawned on me that where we met, actually, and I'm a good friend of Aaron Young's and John Shin, and everybody I know is on your platform.
Yeah. No, many people, James, and I know you're very good friends of Les as well. Yeah. So I'm very excited to have you here. I'm glad we can make it happen. Yeah. So, James, how's things with you? And you know, with everything that's gone on, and how has life changed if in any way? And what are you working on right now?
Well, actually, our business has exploded. You know, in the midst of any calamity, there's always opportunity. It's really about solving a problem and filling a need. And communication is the next best currency, because with great communication, you can take this time where a lot of people are shut in to enhance our relationships, and to even the speaking into your life, into yourself, to really take the time to define on where you really want to go, what message and what mark you want to leave on the world, because I know that all of our success can be somebody else's miracle. So I'm working on recording all of my speaker programs. Real estate's going really, really well. But speaking and training and getting on different platforms like this to and empower and to inspire the hearts and minds of people, that they have a voice, and how to use that voice to make a big difference.
And isn't it a shame, James, that there's so many people that have so many great messages, so much to say, and we can see it. I mean, you're a mentor, you're a coach, you work with people, you support businesses and entrepreneurs, and you can see that brilliance that they have in them that they can't see themselves. And it's a time for people to step up, isn't it? It's a time for leaders to come forward and really contribute.
Yes. Yeah. And it's really about being fully self-expressed. I was listening to Tony earlier, and I'm an old Landmark guy back in the early 90s. So I know about the always listening, and that's also a part of communication. But when you get the time to just sit back, like every morning I go outside and I look at the water and I look at the sky, and I just sit back and to appreciate life in itself, and just look at there's always more, and everyone has a voice. Everyone has something to contribute. And that's why I love the Best You Expo, because it's really all about discovering the best you and stepping into that each and every day, because all of us are nature's greatest miracle.
Absolutely. And I love your message. So, James, your book. Mm-hmm. It really empowered me. I loved it. I thought it was a very, very interesting book.
Well, you know, frequency and energy is always moving, and we are electrical beings. So we transmit energy from one person to another, and everyone has it. And sometimes we become afraid of it. I remember when I was very young, I would see these things and feel these things and know these things and didn't know why I knew them, and it was frightening. You know, and I find a lot of people live their life in fear waiting to happen and low-grade upset. And I'll tell you, when you learn to tap into a frequency, that's when you get into a zone. I'm watching you speak, and it's just so seamless. That's a frequency. And every one of your viewers, all the listeners, is something that we do extremely well. And you tap into it, you get that state of click, that zone where it's just in a state of flow. And that's the frequency. But when you tap into that frequency, a negative frequency doesn't exist. It's like when you get an AM station, then FM doesn't even count anymore. So you have to tap into the frequency and discover how to use that energy and that force just to make the world better and make your world better and live your life with happiness and joy and creating input in society each and every day.
And James, I've got to say, oh my God, do you flow, man? I mean, when you go on stage and you start speaking, and I was actually sharing this with a friend of mine, and I'm sure you got your take on it. Because sometimes when I speak and I go on stage, you know, and I never follow a script. Give me one and I'll throw it out the window. And don't give me a PowerPoint presentation. I can't even click the ticker. So, you know, kind of, I there's sometimes when I really feel that I where did that come from, you know? And I was talking to a friend of mine around the idea of wisdom and channeling, you know, and how does that come? And are we actually channeling? And obviously I believe in that. In being in that frequency, I believe in the energy, and I believe also that you know that we do channel knowledge that comes through us, like ideas. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, absolutely. You get to that point of surrender, the total release, and then you become fully self-expressed, and that is the purest form of being honest, and that's where the power comes in that vulnerability. and placing yourself in a state, because a lot of times so many people are very nervous and have a fear about speaking, whether it be in a boardroom, whether it be in a social gathering or a wedding, or even on stage, because they're afraid about how they're going to look and if they're going to say the right things. And I think that's because when you're speaking, you have to remember it's never about you. It's only about the people that you're speaking to. So you're not the star, you're the director. The audience is the star. You know, if you're speaking to your wife, that's the star. You're speaking to your children, you're speaking to a church or in any form, they're the stars. What do you want to contribute? Because as the director, your goal and your focus is to help them win their Oscar, to help them win, to create wins where everybody walks away a little bit better, and even yourself, because you'll get a great understanding as well. So as you teach, I always say once taught, twice learned. So you channel, you let it go, you study your information, and you let it rip and just speak into the hearts, the minds, and even the nervous system of another human being. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, love it. Thank you so much, James. So I love the idea, the concept of Liz Gilbert and her book. I'm not sure if you read it, but I've listened to the audiobook, Big Magic.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that she's actually got a TED Talk as well. And it's around the idea of ideas being entities that literally, are traveling around the world looking for a home, a place to become a reality. And ideas come to you and and you can really see that, and then the idea obviously wants to become a reality. And if those ideas don't become a reality, these ideas then go and find someone else that will make them become a reality. And that's how inspiration, that's how the poets, that's how all the people, all of a sudden they get this wisdom, this channeling. And I love that concept. And it really comes down to this. How many times and I'm saying all of us, how many times have all of us seen something to, oh my God, I thought of that 3 years ago, and it's true. But in her book, she actually talks about how a particular book idea that she had literally went from her to a close friend where they never exchanged the information. And then she wrote the book. And when she shared the script, she couldn't believe it because she told her, look, this is what I wrote. This is what you wrote. And it was pretty much the same idea. It's a beautiful concept. I love it.
Yeah. I would just say this. It's like when you have a radio, like right now, if somebody's watching this feed, there may not be any music in the background, but there is music in the room because the frequency is already there. So like you said, the ideas are already out there because it travels. It never stops. It never dies. It just keeps moving. And if you were to put a radio into a room right now and plug it up, you turn it on, you'll be able to pick up the reception of the frequency that's already there because the song, the channel, or the talk show is not in the radio. It's in the frequency that's around you. So when you are speaking or you're doing whatever you're doing well and you're in your space and you just tap in, that's when you got it. And all those ideas that are like your ideas, the light will attract that same light. That's what they mean when they say what you want really wants you. And that's what they say also, like Job said, the things I have feared have come upon me. So whatever you focus on in your heart, and you focus on your bills instead of your goals and dreams, you'll manifest more of the same in your life and create more worry. So it's really about getting clarity on the things that you really want, having some big goals and big dreams. There's no magic and small ones, and making them ginormous. So when the challenges come, you can always see the goal, and you never lose sight of that. And where the head goes, the body usually follows.
Love it, James. So listen, we're delighted and honored to have you. You're going to be speaking later on today. That's going to be at
6 p.m. Pacific.
That's right.
Yeah.
So that's it.
No, 4 p.m.
4 p.m. Pacific. Yeah. You're on at 4 p.m. Pacific. So I want to invite you all, welcome you all. And again, for some of you that might be unlucky enough to not be able to watch it live, we're going to be recording this as well. We're going to be playing it again tomorrow and the next couple of days. So thank you so much, James. We're delighted to have you. Thank you.
Glad to be here. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Thank you so much. Take care. Have a great day. So, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, I've got a few more minutes. I'm going to invite Tony to come and join me.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good, Tony. How are you?
I'm good. Ready for anything.
Good. Well, look, I'm just going to share this very quick video that I did about thinking big because I thought it would be very appropriate with what James has just been saying.
One of the things I frequently say is that we don't think about what we're thinking about. And not only we're not thinking about what we're thinking about, we just have really terrible thoughts. A lot of people just have this terrible internal dialogue, which all they're doing is just being detrimental to themselves. They're saying terrible things to themselves. So the first thing you need to be is you need to be aware. You need to be aware of your thoughts. You need to be able to think what you're thinking about and making sure that what you're thinking about are things that are going to help you, empower you. And that's what I say normally, is that the quality of your life depends on the quality of the questions you ask yourself. If you ask yourself empowering questions, unconsciously you're going to start finding ways in where you can find a solution to that, to go where you want to go. And one of the things I really find interesting and fascinating, that there's so many people that think, but then they think small. Oh my God, why would you? If you're going to think big. It's free. Think big.
Yeah, I have so many people. I come across that, Tony, all the time, you know, kind of like, I say it's free because I just have so many people that actually, they're scared of thinking big.
Right.
They're scared of thinking big, and they just have these terrible issues and challenges where they just can't do that. I think that's one of the beautiful things. I think. Sorry, go ahead.
Someone said to me one time, just because you start it doesn't mean you have to finish it. And that actually leveled it out for me. Because if I think big and I feel like I've got to complete this, oh, it's overwhelming. But if I think I can start this and it can grow big, then you surrender to the process. You surrender to the results. You just start and stop thinking about what if, and just, you know, I posted something on Facebook today where it said something like, you know, don't worry about all the things that can go wrong. It's from your site. Don't worry about all the things that can go wrong. What about all the things that can go right? And you posted that on your Best You site. And so, you know, that stuff I'm sitting with today, and that's the stuff we're going to be sharing all week, and obtaining information from other people and sharing that information when we go to our other platforms. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, yeah, a lot of people, I think, and that's where I talk about the idea of mortality, of understanding, you know, that we're here for a limited period of time, and we obviously have to push the boundaries, because there will be a time that, you know, hey, hopefully, I don't know, I would like to go in a quick kind of manner. I don't want to be suffering any kind of thing for a long time. Right. But I just want to make sure that whenever it did happen, I just want to say, you know what, I kicked some ass. I kicked some global derriere, which is ass in French for those that might not understand the word. I clicked some global derriere, and
have you ever heard, and I'm just being funny, that when you turn your car back in, you don't want to turn it in spanking brand new, no scratches, no ripped leather. You want to have really used that vehicle when you get your next one. So I kind of equate that to, you know, I take care of myself to the best of my ability, but the boats are safe in the harbor, but they're built to go out to sea.
Yeah.
And so if we're sitting in the harbor and we're safe, it's not what we were built for.
Yeah.
So I use that a lot when I get nervous, because, you know, when you speak in front of lots of people, you just don't know who you're going to come across. You just don't know how exposed you are. And I could sit in my mind and go crazy and go, is there a crazy man out in the audience? I mean, you just don't know anymore in today's world. And so you just have to go, hey, I believe there's a bigger power than myself that's guiding me, and I just need to show up. And I feel like I have a force field of protection. But
well, there's always definitely a crazy person in the room. I think we all know that. You can trust the universe that there's always going to be a crazy one, if not more. Right. There's always going to be a complainer and a whinger and a negative guy, and there's always going to be a funny guy. So, Tony, I'm excited. Thank you for being here. So, Tony's going to be hosting. We've got our next guest. We've got a panel regarding some influencers that we've got working with us. Bronnie and Adelaide have done a fantastic job in bringing us some great people. So you're going to be hosting that, and then you're going to carry on hosting the rest of the afternoon. I'm going to be back tomorrow morning and carry on with this amazing week that we have lined up. So thank you so much.
And you're 8 hours ahead of us, right? So
yeah, I'm all good, man. I'm feeling good. I can still keep going, but I need, you know, I'm gonna pace myself.
Well, just wait in the wings for me. We'll see how the day one goes before you go to bed.
All right.
So,
well, thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. Take care. We'll see you soon. We'll be back in 5 minutes. Thank you so much. 5 minutes.